Tell you a little bit about Best Robotics. We're currently in our Best Robotics season right now, and I want to just kind of go through and give you a little bit of an overview about it. I know a couple of you here have participated in Best, and we're actually on our 10th year of doing Best Robotics, and every year it's just truly amazing to see how things grow. I'll talk to you at the end about why I choose Best and why I support Best, but I will tell you this because probably one of the major reasons is because every year we watch our team step to another level. And so like I said, it's 10 years. Finley there started the team when she was the STEM teacher here, passed the torch on to me, and I came in not knowing a thing about it, absolutely nothing about it. Even though it was great they had an existing team, kind of helped me out, but it did take a season for me to figure out what was going on. BEST stands for Boosting Engineering, Science, and Technology. It is a national robotics competition. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. Even though it's called a robotics competition, in truth, it's very much a robotics business simulator. Um, and what I mean by that is, yes, it is centered around the robotics competition, but that is not the only portion, and I'll say it's not even the primary portion in some ways about what happens during that competition. So there are five parts to what's called the Best Award. And I said Best is more like a robotics company simulator, and it's the five parts of the award are really centered around that. So even though I have a team, in so many ways, it is very much like a business, and everything that takes place in a true industry level robotics company business. So there's the five parts of it. There's the robot competition that scores to the best award, and that's the actual go out on the field play. And every year there's a new game and it's themed to something different. So last year it was medical themed, and so we were a medical robotics company. Year before that it was construction themed, and we were a construction robotics company. This year it is moon based themed, and so this year we're a lunar robotics company. And so the competition is centered around that game, and they create a game every year, and it's different the way the points are scored and all that. And there, I can go into detail about a lot of this, and I really love to because there are some, I mean, just powerful gains that are made among the students when they break down each of these. Like I'll say this, we come back from the robotics competition, and the first thing when you see the game is most students will say, well, let's build one that does this. Let's build a robot that does this. Build a robot that does this. We sit down and we analyze the game, and we analyze the points, and we analyze the estimated time to do things. And we go through those trade-offs and create a strategy before we ever start talking engineering. And that is all student led because the best team is 100% student led. I could not program our robot. I mean, I guess I could probably figure it out, but I've never done it. I've never actually sat down and done it. I just let the students do it. They do all parts of that. So there's the robot competition. There's an engineering notebook. So there's a technical writing portion of the competition. We'll create a 70-page true engineering manual, and they will go through everything from their iterations, their justification for their iterations, what they learned. We had a couple of people from Lockheed Martin talk about how they document and record iterations whenever they're creating things. And we use the same standard process that Lockheed Martin Skunk Works uses in going through the iterations on our robot and the design and all that. There's a concourse exhibit booth that's created. So team creates this really cool booth that shows off your company. It shows off what you do and the different aspects of it. Shows off your robot and all those things going on. So they build this big 8-foot booth for people to see. This year, by the way, our booth is an actual lunar rover simulator. When you walk in the booth, there's a joystick, there's buttons, there's a giant screen that looks like you're looking out the front of a rover, and they're programming the whole simulator in Unity. So as you go through, you're going to be driving along and you're going to push it forward and go. And there's two digital touch screens that you can see objectives and things to do. And so they're creating this thing, and this is all for the people that come and visit our booth, and they're going to check that out. So it's a whole lunar rover simulator. There's a marketing presentation because we have to sell that robot. We sell that robot to possible customers and investors, and they meet, put together an entire presentation that is a professional level presentation. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. And then finally, the fifth part of it's what's called spirits and sportsmanship. And that's about the way your team makes an impact. How's your team impact the community? How's your team impact other teams? How does your team impact the day of competition when it's actually put to work? And then those are the five major awards that goes to what's called the best award, but there's some other awards as well: website design, t-shirt, programming award, CAD drawing awards. There's a lot of side awards, engineering awards, things like that that are already done. So because it's a business simulator, our team is like a business. It is broken down into two categories. We have a marketing division and we have an engineering division, just like a major company would have. And under that, and we have a CMO, a chief marketing officer, who is a student that is over the entire marketing division. And we have a CTO, a chief technical officer, who is over all the engineering division. Under the engineering, we have three sub teams. We have a CAD team, and they actually CAD out the robot. And I'm going to tell you, technically, this is one of the things I love about BEST. Your kit, if you will, that you're given, and by the way, BEST is a free competition. They give you the electronics and the materials and all that. Your kit are raw goods. So raw wood, aluminum, acrylic, things like that. And they have to learn real skills, things like how you can manufacture products, and you can design it. How's it going to be manufactured? What are tolerances? What are trade-offs? What are stress? They put the entire robot together digitally in CAD in a functioning model. They'll actually move and they'll see that everything's going to work and not impact other things and stuff like that. And so they are actually using real raw goods to create this robot, which I think is absolutely outstanding. And the way that they have learned over 10 years to do things differently. And every year we come up with something and go, man, I wish we'd have thought about this years ago. This is a really cool idea. This is a really cool idea. So it's just limitless in what you can do. The programming team designs the electrical system and does all the programming. They create that. They also create the simulated game for the booth. The integration ops team, they build. We have a marketing team, or the marketing division has a team exhibit. They build the booth. We have a graphic design team who does all of our graphics and our view. And then we have a community outreach team. So I want to show you a little bit about what that looks like right now as it's going on in here. I'll give you a little view of my room right now. My team's got 54 students on it. That's made up of 42 students that are in middle school, and we have 12 high schoolers. My rule is if you went through my middle school team, you can come back in high school. And that is a great opportunity for those students to really start growing in their leadership skills and all that. So check this out real quick. I got Cortland right here. You just keep working, Cortland. He's working on building something. He is actually building this, if you can see, from these actual field drawing plans. They're building the game field right now. So these guys are doing that. If you walk around, this is my programming team. They're working with last year's robot. That's last year's robot. And Noah here is one of my 8th graders, team lead, and he is teaching Arduino. We can program the robot in C. You can do it in Python. You can do it in Java. What can you do it in? Python and C+. Yeah, is what he's using. Here's our CAD team. So, oh, thanks. There, Carter threw up the deuces there for you. So they're working in Fusion. They're currently doing designs. Hey, did you fix that pinion gear thing?
I think so.
You got the pinion gear? It's got to turn. It can't turn by the force. Okay, good. Awesome. All right. Hey, where's Jerry?
He went to graphic design.
Okay, cool. They're working on the game. They're working on the game. Cool. I'm also doubling up right now, checking in with my team because they've been on their own for a minute. Here's the, ooh, how's the robot coming? They're building the Mark II chassis and the Mark I arm right now. So they're rolling at it. That's a couple of our team members there. That's really cool. We have a booth room here where Booth is working on the things that they're building. Kind of show you around. Hey guys, everybody say hi. So this is Noah. He's in here. How's the booth? You got anything to show me? You got anything you want to show off?
Delano's going to show off.
Oh, you got the console sketch done. So that's going to be the console of the simulator I told you about right there. Cool. Hey, show them that. There's your little, that's going to be the oh, I love it. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, that's part of that simulator.
He has that.
Oh, you catted the booth? Oh, sweet. I'll use Tinkercad on that. I love it. There you go. Yeah. So good job, Delana. Thanks. So anyway, that's my booth team. Let's see, what have I hit? Booth, CAD, build. There's some more build students right there. They're building the whole field. That's awesome. I love it because they're building from actual technical drawings. Can everybody hear me okay? There's a lot going on. Okay. I hope you're not getting motion sick because I'm gonna keep walking here. I think there's power tools happening out here right now. Build team doing more building. I'll find my marketing team real quick, and I think my presentation team might be meeting also. Yeah, we packed 54 people into this place. It's kind of thick, but it's truly. Oh, hey, look, there's more booth people. They're working in the hall right now, and graphic design. Oh, hey, how's the game going? That's graphic design working. Are you guys meeting today for a presentation? Are you presenting today? Are you doing warm-ups? That's presentation team, marketing presentation over there. These guys are working here with Unity. Oh yeah. Oh hi. Oh, let's see. Let's zoom in close there. There you go. There's some moon terrain for you in Unity. Hi, Jerry. Anyway, who are you guys working on?
Posters.
Oh, booth posters. Yeah. They're using Illustrator for that. Okay. Anyway, I'll go settle for a moment. But I wanted to give you a shot of what's going on because it's going to help you to understand why I choose best. One thing, by the way, if you didn't pick up on how exciting this is that if you didn't notice, there's nobody standing over their shoulder telling them what to do. This is really awesome. They've taken absolute ownership over their divisions. Every single sub team has what's called a master on the team. They're basically a project lead, and every day they come in with direction for their team and just show how it's going. So let me tell you why best. One, it's the small one, but it is free. They give you the electronics. You do have to return what's called the returnable kit at the end. They give you all the electronics. They give you your first set of consumable materials and all that. And all those materials, if you want to replace, you can always go to Lowe's and just buy plywood or acrylic board or whatever you want in that. It is not a huge financial commitment. Now you can start spending some money on some things if you want, like the booth and stuff like that. But it's not a huge financial buy-in because they do want to get as many schools and groups as involved as possible. But now here's the real reasons for best. Because I've looked at a lot of different competitions and I've considered, hey, what else is out there? And I want to look at it. Best is the only competition that I've found that has this diversity of disciplines. I know there are other groups where you can do presentations and you can do programs and you can do all this. But the great thing about Best being a company simulator is that this entire team, like a real business, is working together to create its product, to sell its product, to market its product, just like a real company would. I'm not going to go back out there, but I meant to take you about the Gantt chart. They've created this giant Gantt chart. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up, but it's basically a project management tool that breaks down everything that has to be done with deadlines and goals. And all those things are dependent on other things. So even though I've got a CAD team, the CAD team's not in a silo because they're going to be working with Build, who's going to come and say to them, hey, we need you to change the design so it can do this. You can't build this like that. And programming is networking with the Build and the CAD team about the function of the robot. Programs also networking with Booth because they're creating the game. And Booth is networking with graphic design, who has to create the graphics for it and create the posters and all that. And the presentation team is dependent on all those teams to have the substance of what they need. So all those teams have to do intercommunication. So it's not just we have these different areas, but all those areas work together just like a real company would be working together to achieve its goal. And so I love that diversity of disciplines. I have kids. If you like to do programming, there's a place for you. If you like to draw and make pretty things, there's a place for you. If you like to give speeches and talks, there's a place for you. If you like to geek out and make, cool robot components on computers, a place for you. If you like to build things with your hands and create things with your hands, there's a place for you. So there's all those disciplines, but it's all surrounded around STEM fields. Um, a quick story about this. My daughter has actually been on the team since sixth grade, and she doesn't want to be an engineer. She's been courted literally by Lipscomb for the last 6 years because of her connection to Best Robotics. Dr. Elrod knows my daughter, and would love for her to come and be in the engineering program there. She has no interest in being an engineer, but she loves engineering. She loves the STEM world. She loves marketing. And so she's looking to do an interdisciplinary degree where that is engineering marketing. It's marketing specifically for engineering. It's a world that she's really interested in and loves, but she doesn't love the technical side of it. She loves the marketing side of that world. So anyway, this diversity of disciplines, but it's not just you can do all these things. You all do all these things working with different departments, just like you do in a real business. Um, it allows for a large team. So like I said, I've looked at a lot of other programs, things like that, and they're all small team things. And I could run a whole bunch of small teams, but I like that I've got this one large team. And you don't have to have a giant team, by the way. The nice thing about the way we do it is I could do this team with probably, you know, 60% of the students I have, but by having a deep bench, it allows students to also be involved in other extracurriculars and things like this. And it's not, hey, this is, I got to have you here all the time or that kind of thing. And also it allows for growth in teaching. Which is another reason is because the way we do this, there's so many skills that are learned. There are students that learn skills and students teaching skills and students learning skills. And it's just how it goes. I don't teach them anything. I really don't. I point them in the right direction, but it's my students that have been on the team for 1 or 2 years teaching. I have students that are seventh graders on the team teaching sixth graders on the team, and there's no way to learn it like teaching it. And so I've got that constant just investing in other people. Another reason I choose Best is because it is a more industry authentic experience. So without rehashing what I said about it being like a business simulator, so much of what we do is mirrored in real industry, businesses. It is mirrored in what they do. I'll give you an example. This summer, two of my robotics team students were having a conversation with a friend of mine that came to visit. He's a millionaire. He was a millionaire, then he was broke, now he's a millionaire again. And he started this company that if you ever go and look at cars online and you can spin them around 360 and see them, he made the tech behind that probably. He was like the first one to do that, and he's the major guy that does that. And he has a whole shop, and he just learned how to do all this stuff and all that. But he's talking to my students about CAD, and one of my students like, yeah, Autodesk. I know how to use that. That's actually what we use. And they got this whole conversation about it, and the guy's like, I don't even know how to use it. I've just seen my guy use it. I hired a guy to do it, and my robotics guy's like, yeah, I do that on there. And then he started talking about this big CNC, and he's like, I forget what software they use. And one of my students by goes, VCarve, yeah, because that's all industry software. Like they use Fusion, Autodesk, they use VCarve, Professional CNC, they use Adobe Suite, which is used in real design, in the design world. They use all these industry level programs and tools, and they're very familiar with it, and they're in middle school and they already know all this. And that's one of the things that I love about this is that my middle schoolers impress the snot out of people. I was gonna embarrass one of the girls in there a while ago. She's in eighth grade this year. She was on the marketing team last year in seventh grade. They absolutely killed it, did this great presentation. And Dr. Elrod, the president of the engineering division, comes up to me and says, "Hey, you see that girl over there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, she's on your team, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Listen, I wanted to give her a full scholarship right on the spot. She is going to do things. I've got my eye on her." I love stuff like that because a lot of times people expect middle schoolers to do middle school things because they don't know what middle school things really can be, and Best shows that off. And here's the last thing I'll say about why I choose Best: opportunity. Um, there are so many industries and businesses that connect with Best. I've had a number of students that have gotten internships at Nissan. Had one that got one just this past year because one of the guys from Nissan came up to me at competition and said, "Who wrote your engineering notebook?" And I said, "Well, I've got a team of three people that work on the engineering notebook specifically, but it's a group effort." A lot of people goes, "Who wrote the algorithms for this and this?" And I said, "Oh, that would be that person." And he goes, "I need to meet him." End of the day, he had an internship for this summer at Nissan. And he's not the first. So loads of connections with local industries and businesses and opportunities for that, and also educational exposure. Like people from different universities. We've gone to Auburn University, Lipscomb University, Northern Alabama University, all these engineering departments, all these marketing departments, all these professionals getting to know my students and getting to know them by name right now. So it's huge. And here's the thing though, I'll say this. If you look at what's going on here, and I know it's easy to look at it and go, that looks really hard and that looks really complicated and that looks well, first of all, I got to say this: it's hard, but we do hard things. None of us got into teaching to do the easy stuff, the plug and play stuff, the silly stuff that everybody's doing. If you're like me, you want your students not to be with their peers, but you want them to stand out among everybody else. And I think Best is a great way to help students stand out among all their peers. It shows them what they really can do. And yeah, it's hard. It is a challenging competition, but here's the thing: it's so worth it. Um, it is so worth it. Uh, it's easy to look at it and go, it's overwhelming. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know how to do it. We've been doing this 10 years. In the first year, um, I talked to a judge last year who judged some of my students, and he said to my students, he said this to them at the end of the interview with the what's called the CDR, which is a real industry practice, a critical design review. And he said, "Hey, I want you guys to know something. I was there the first year your team participated in robotics." And he said, "I want you to know, I didn't think you'd be back. You guys were hurting. You guys were struggling." He goes, "Now I look at you and you blow me away." That's the great thing about Best. Your first year, it's going to be hard. And your second year, it's going to be hard. And your third year, it'll be hard. And every year, though, it's not about the competition as far as how you do at Best Robotics. It's about yourself. Every year, if you can look at what did we do last year and how are we one step up this year, that's where my team gets its encouragement. Every year we say, what did we do last year? What do we want to do better this year? What are our goals for this year? It's not go win. It is, you know what? We've never done this, or we'd like to do this, or let's try and make this happen. We just compete against ourselves. And so now we're 10 years in as a 10-year team, and it took a long time to get where we are. And every year we're still making gains. And every year my middle school students are blown away by what they end up doing. And the adults that see them are blown away. And by the way, I'll give you a little side note. We have a lot of companies a lot of companies that sponsor us, because they are blown away by what our students are doing. They say, "How can we help?" And when I say sponsor, we do get material stuff. I just picked up a new sponsor. Should I share, Finley? Should I keep that to myself?
No, you can. You can. And then
Picked up LevRack as a
I'm gonna,
sponsor. They're going to help me with some more equipment in the room. Anyway, I'm really happy about that. I love LevRack. They're my tables and stuff out there. So I'm stoked about that. But I've got companies that help with materials, companies that just say, hey, we can send a professional. I've had two engineers from Nissan, manufacturing and mechanical engineer, come and work with us, and our kids fall in love with them. It's great like that. I mean, they are blown away by what our students are doing. Best is so worth it. About 4 years ago, we had 4 or 5 teams from Rutherford County and Best, and we went to Lipscomb, and we were our own family there. We were on group, and it was really awesome. I would love to see that again. And I'll tell you this, if you look at it and you say, I don't know, it looks rough, it looks hard. I mean, can I do it? I want you to know something. First of all, I do it. And you may be like, oh, but you do it. You have no idea my first year doing this. I was back here going, what? But here's the thing, you will have so much support doing best robotics. I would be happy if you want to learn more about it. I would love to come and really give you the nitty gritty, and I'll talk to you about team organization. And I will be happy to do a quick start. And I'm serious when I say I can scaffold this thing for you that you will not go in and feel like you're drowning. It's
So
a big competition, but I promise you won't feel like you're drowning. I will
noted.
scaffold it for you and help you. Zach and I will be happy to work with and mentor your team. I've had teams come out, he's had teams come out, and our programs are programmed with you. You can see our robot. We'll share notebooks, everything with that. You will be joining an encouraging community.